Welcome to the fourth show in our new season of Touring Texas Songwriters with our host, the long tall Texan, Mr. Bruno Michel. Today's show features Central Texas songwriter Chris Hoff and is brought to you by the Barrel Brewing Company and the citizens of historic Salado, Texas. Chris Hoff was recorded live in front of a studio audience for broadcast on Country Radio Switzerland. Sit back, relax, and learn more about the life and songs of Chris Hoff.
So here we have somebody that actually moved his family in 2017 from Nebraska to Texas, and that was a good decision. Not only that he got out of the cold, but we also get to enjoy his music, which I would consider as kind of a mix between neo-traditional and then add some outlaw wailing to it, and then you get Chris Hoff, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Thank y'all. Good, thank you.
Let's start with a song.
Start with a song? Okay, this one's called Don't Hate Me. Just 'Cause You Hate Me. It's on my 5-song EP I released earlier this year. And I wrote this one just because it's 2019 and it doesn't matter what opinion you have of whatever you're trying to hold an opinion on. It's just somebody's got to hate you because, they don't agree with you.
Right.
So instead of being old school where, you just agree to disagree, nowadays everybody just holds a grudge on you for whatever reason. So I wrote this song. Don't hate me just because you hate me. I ain't done nothing to you at all. I just came here trying to be somebody, but somebody told me I didn't have far to fall. Don't hate me just because you ain't me. Please don't judge me based on what you see. I'll do me if you do you. We can both just let it be. Please don't hate me just because you ain't me. Will you hate the way I walk? You even hate the way I talk. It seems you even hate the air I breathe. Well, I can't make up your mind. We're just wasting our time. So before I go, let me say one thing. Don't hate me just because you ain't me. Please don't judge me based on what you see. I'll do me if you do you. We can both just let it be. Please don't hate me just because you ain't me. Yes, and I'll do me if you do you. We can both just let it be. Please don't hate me just because you ain't me. No, don't hate me just because you ain't me. Thank you.
All right. So you played in the school band, the school choir, you sang in the school choir, and you were in 6th grade, I think, and then you started writing and playing a few years later.
Yes.
And now you're enjoying your EP, It Doesn't Matter, which I completely disagree. It does matter. But did you record any material before that, or is that your first take?
You know, I tried a few times back home up in Wyoming, Nebraska area, and we actually moved down here from Wyoming. We'd lived in Wyoming for, 5 years or so. And, you know, it's eastern, we call it Wild Nebraska because it's, you know, it's one community basically, and everybody gets together and does everything. All the farmers help each other out. So, I mean, that's where I grew up. To answer to your question, yeah, I started 6th grade, started playing the trumpet. Stuck with band, and you know, I started choir I think in 7th grade. I can't remember. When I graduated, I actually didn't realize that, you know, I loved music so much until after a couple years after I graduated. You know, I just felt like something was missing, and I eventually, you know, I decided, hey, maybe it's music, and I went out and bought myself a guitar and kind of taught myself how to play. I think the first song I learned how to play was Folsom Prison Blues. You know, go figure. But yeah, and the rest, you know, I took some lessons here and there, and just got, you know, slowly started improving. Then I decided to start writing songs after a couple years of just horsing around with a guitar, you know. And
well, you haven't recorded anything before your EP?
Nope, the EP was pretty much the first professional recording I did. So
now you worked with Mike Dorian and Merle Brigante on this project. Both of them were on that show with Sarah Pierce together.
Yes.
How the hell did you get to know these guys? I mean,
well,
coming down from Wyoming, then.
That's a funny story. So one of my acquaintances back home in Wyoming had told me that I needed to do something with my music. And we was playing at this place called the Stampede in Chugwater, Wyoming, excuse me. And it's basically, you know, you sneeze and you miss it going by on the interstate. And there's a little bar there, restaurant. It's an eatery, and they have this open jam night on Thursdays or something like that. And I met a guy who did the Texas tour. You know, he was a country western singer, and he went from Wyoming down around here and played all over the place. And he, you know, had some acquaintances. So when I told him I was moving, he's like, "You need to get a hold of Chris Wall." And I did, and Chris Wall sent me to Merle Brigante, and, you know, the rest of it's pretty much history.
It's true,
from
yeah.
there,
That's
so.
how it goes. All right. That guy wasn't by chance Brent Moyer, right?
No.
Okay, good.
It was...
Get that out of the way.
Yeah, no, it wasn't him.
Because he's an old buddy of mine. Yeah, let's play another one then. Go
Another
ahead.
one? Okay. Let's do Down.
Okay.
This one's also on the EP here, so... Heading back from somewhere never should have been. Lipstick on his neck and his breath was lit with gin. When the sun goes down, when the sun goes down. Did not have a wife, she passed long ago. She loved the way it smelled, white powder on her nose. When the sun goes down, when the sun goes down. When the sun goes down, everybody knows. When the sun goes down, you best get home. Baseball bat, an empty bottle of wine. She said she's had enough. She says now's the time. When the sun goes down, when the sun goes down. He bought a new car like private vest. 50 years old and he knew it wouldn't last. When the sun goes down, when the sun goes down, when the sun goes down, everybody knows. When the sun goes down, you best get home. Everybody knows when the sun goes down. Thank y'all.
Now that you mentioned that you first got in touch with Chris Wall, it became logic to me, because otherwise I wouldn't even have asked my first question, because I know Chris since the 90s.
Yeah.
And Merle was actually the guy who brought Chris over to Switzerland way back in the late 80s, early 90s, when he was still doing promoting. So it was quite natural that you meet Merle once you hooked up with Chris. Did you get to know him in Wyoming, or?
No. One of my friends from Wyoming had known Chris Wall from touring.
But he hangs out in Wyoming quite often too, in Colorado and everywhere.
I never did meet him up in Wyoming or Colorado or anything. Kip Attaway was one of my friends that I was talking about, and it wasn't him who told me to talk to Chris Wall. It was who? No, it wasn't Brady. His name escapes me for right now.
Somebody did anyway. It was a good decision because Chris is long time in the business and he knows people, so that's good.
For sure.
Now, I think your style of music does matter, contrary to what Merle suggested as the title for your first EP. I think it was his idea to call that thing It Doesn't Matter.
It was.
Why the hell did you listen to him? I mean,
well, because I have a song, and the name of the song's Free on that EP. And the most vamping lyric in there is "It doesn't matter."
Right.
And that's where, Merle come up with the idea, like, oh, well, you should just call it "It Doesn't Matter." I'm like, hey, that's a good one.
So for people who don't know you, actually, it should matter.
Right.
Why would I buy this? It doesn't matter. Okay, put it away. All right.
So that's how the name got that. There's a story behind everything.
Now, your songs are what I would call neo-traditional, but I can't help to hear some Waylon in it, because you sent me the songs and we had them on the radio already.
Yeah.
And the reaction was pretty good. And a lot of people hear some Waylon. Was he one of your heroes? And if yes, were there any others that you tried to kind of get influenced by?
Waylon, for sure, is probably my biggest idol. I idolize him the most. Just his backstory on how Nashville tried to starve him out, and anybody knows anything about Waylon, he was a guy who had a million chances to just soar, and somebody else would always ruin that for him, and also he'd get down on himself about the day the music died, and Buddy Holly and the whole plane crash with the whole joke that those two had. He was definitely one of the biggest influences, just because, he basically took a whole system of what Nashville was doing and said, no, I'm going to do it this way, and watch me do it, try to starve me out now.
And he did.
Yeah, and he did it. So him for sure. Chris Ledoux is a Wyoming native.
Absolutely.
He's one of my big idols, Johnny Cash, all them guys. Modern guys that I really look up to, like Cody Jinks, Sturgill Simpson, Tyler Childers, Whitey Morgan in the 78s. They're all just killer. Like they're trying to keep the old school sound alive.
A lot of good stuff coming out of Texas, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And now you're here too, so there's even more stuff coming out of Texas. So let's play another one.
Okay. Let's do Life's a Song.
All right.
This one I really wanted a song that would remind everybody of all the songs that you love. And so this song took me the longest to write, merely because trying to make everything make sense. And you figure it out, as most song lovers do, what I did with this one. And come to find out, when I come to do copyright, it was perfectly okay to do what I did. So I was happy. This one's called Life's a Song. Tuesday's long gone like a dust in the wind. Out in Lucan by Texas with a few rowdy friends. May that whiskey river never run dry. In this small town, Saturday night. Well, there's a lonesome whistle blowing, and it won't back down. Stuck in Lodi again, well, this a one-horse town. Just taking it easy on a tequila sunrise. After fishing in the dark, stuck on Tulsa time. That wagon wheel goes round like it's painted black. Amarillo by morning always takes me back to that sweet home Alabama on that lost highway. And I don't really think Hank done it this way. I hate that feeling Sunday morning coming down. Yeah, and who'll stop the rain in this little guitar town? There's a party tonight at the Cadillac Ranch. That's where friends in low places always go to dance. I got lost on that old Copperhead Road. Yeah, with Poncho and Lefty, I got stuck out in the cold. her blue eyes crying every time that it rains. It's the ride and the spotlights that drive me insane. That wagon wheel goes round like it's painted black. And Amarillo by morning always takes me back to that sweet home Alabama on that lost highway. And I don't really think Hank done it this way. No, I don't really think Hank done it this way. Thank you.
Took you a long time to get all those song titles together and kind of merge
To
them
make
in
it
the
make
right
sense,
sequence,
yes, it
right?
did. It took me. That song by far took me the
What
longest.
brought you to that idea? I mean, there were several songs, obviously, that did that in the past in a different way, but what
Right.
brought you to that idea?
Well, like I just wanted to try to take I wanted to challenge myself and see if I could actually do an entire song made up of nothing but song titles.
yeah.
Yes, and yeah, lo and behold, I guess I did.
You did, yeah.
Minus a few fill words here and there, but I mean everything else was just
Turned out pretty
nothing
good.
but song titles. So
Hard to remember, though, all that song.
yeah. And you know, it wasn't just strictly the countryside of me influence either. You know, it was rock
Well, you
and
got
roll
Painted
too.
Black
and-
from the Stones in there
Yeah.
and all that stuff, so that's pretty cool. Now, songs like Complicated Feelings have a happy sound, but rather somber
Oh, yeah.
lyrics. So when you write songs, what comes to you first, the melody or the lyrics?
That kind of depends. Like a song like Down, you know, the one that has the cool groove to it. The first thing that come to me was the groove, and then trying to put lyrics on top of that was hard at first, and then when the lyrics started coming, it just, you know, I just let them roll off my back. And that song was like a 10-minute song. You know, because I really didn't have to try to make it make sense. It just made sense on its own. You know, it had this cool little groove that was kind of dark and dirty and had a secret to keep, you know, so you just kind of think of lyrics that way, you know. And then other times, you know, I'll just start out with writing a song poetically, just no chords or nothing to it, and then add everything to it later. And
So
then
basically
a lot of
after the
times
lyrics.
it's, you know, I write and I play, and I write and I play, and I write and I play, and just do it, you know, back and forth, and just go over the same part over and over again until I get another line.
Is one of the two easier, or
No,
after your writing experience now?
not really. I just try not to force myself to do anything. You know, I know when it's my time to go in, and I know when it's time to, you know, to play. I just have that sixth sense where it's like, okay, well, I'm in a songwriting mood, so let's go write a song, you know. And I don't try to force anything.
Right.
When I force something, you know, it's never a good,
Usually doesn't work.
never a good one.
Now, which of your self-penned songs are you particularly proud of, and why?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know. That's a hard question. Don't Hate Me, I think, is my favorite. But everybody's favorite is Down. And so that one grew on me quite a bit.
Because of the reaction from
Yeah,
people?
yeah. Just because of reaction-wise. I mean, as far as lyrically and musically put together, I would say Don't Hate Me is my favorite. But
No,
so
absolutely.
far, I mean, of the stuff that's been out. So
Now, we were talking about Complicated Feelings, and then I think you were talking about another one, which just slipped my memory.
Free?
Free. I think
Was it
that
Free?
was it. So which ones of those would you like to play, or do you have them on the set list anyway then?
Yeah, I got them on the set list. Yeah, I can do one of them for sure. I think we'll do Complicated Feelings. Yeah.
All right.
Okay with that one. Get your. Oh man. Cheat sheet. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm winging it.
I don't think I have a cheat sheet for that one.
You don't have a okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do.
We free. We have free.
We got free.
Yeah.
I didn't want to add that one though. I don't know how that
You guys want to be alone and work this out later?
Yeah, please. I thought
go for coffee.
I thought I was totally prepared for that, but I guess I wasn't.
Who's the boss? He calls the shots. And he says what to do. I'll do it.
You can't paint the sky, especially when it's already black. Sit there and wait to die someday of a heart attack. Jeopardize what you realize could have been something good. You might just recognize the things for which we stood. I won't let you take me down or give me the runaround. You'll be 6 feet in the ground the day I leave this town. Well, it wouldn't be for nothing, no, at least I'd have some peace. Someday I'll have something and I won't have to beg or plead. I won't let you push me around. I won't let you get me down. I won't let you make me bleed. Someday you just might see. Better off to leave me be, just go on and go away. Things you done, can't you see, just brought me down every day. Well, I stand alone and hang around just hoping for something new. Same old song, same old sound, still hoping to find some truth. Strangers dance across the floor just hoping for something more. Cause there's things that hide behind closed doors, and me, I'm here to settle score. Well, you could run and you could hide, but someday we'll cross paths again. Don't just sit there and feed me lies, pretend like we could be friends. I won't let you push me around. I won't let you get me down. I won't let you make me bleed. Someday you just might see. Oh, someday you just might see. Complicated feeling. Thank you.
Now, you're getting increased attention from radio stations down here in Texas. What's your ultimate goal in the business? I mean, except becoming a superstar selling 40 million records or whatever.
Well, you know, wouldn't we all like to be in that boat? I think my ultimate goal is just to be able to do something I love to do other than my day job, and just make some money, enough to live and be happy and you know, it's just the American dream. You know, I just want to do something I love to do and still be able to provide for my family and take care of everything. You know, pay the bills, and that's all I want, really. Deep down, my other goal is to, you know, keep traditional country alive and well, and not let it die out like the industry is trying to. You know, some parts of the industry are trying to start.
Absolutely, and we thank you for that, by the way. This is really important these days.
And the other day, you know, the hard part of that is we live in such a modern society where, you know, the younger crowd especially, they get so bored so quickly that you cannot release enough songs to keep everybody happy. You know, like back when you guys were all younger, I'm not trying to. Not trying to.
Back here.
Sometimes it took a.
That was
a
Chris
band-
Hoff, ladies and gentlemen.
sometimes it took a. What I'm trying to say is sometimes back long
Right.
before I existed, it took good 2 years to put out a good album.
Right. Absolutely.
And that was because they had to go tour and make some money enough to do another album and and write songs and all that. But now it's like, if you're not coming out with a new song every 3 or 4 months, you're old news. And
Yeah, true. And for one part, you're right. On the other hand, in the 60s, like, you had these old guys, some of them already passed away, like George Jones and stuff. They put out 2 or 3 a year, but it was more or less the label deciding we need to put out some more stuff. So that
Right.
pressure was always there, but it's from the marketing and the business side.
Right.
And I think here in Texas, at least from my experience, knowing the guys already when we were over in Switzerland and now since 13 years down here, it's more about the music, like you said. Do what makes you happy, and if money comes along with that, that's fine. But
Right.
it's not the prime goal. And these days, a little up north, not
Yeah.
saying where,
Yeah.
it's basically just about marketing and selling whatever they call. I mean, look at what's Billboard #1 right now.
Right.
I have no idea what that should be,
Yeah.
but it is, and it's making millions.
Yeah.
And Ray Price, I was one of the guys who had the pleasure to interview him a few months before he passed. He told me, Mac Abernathy, another guy that was here on the show, confirmed that Ray Price described CMA as country my ass.
Yeah.
And that's what it is today, even though I'm a member of the CMA, but it's getting weirder and weirder.
Right.
People come up, like I call them 3 CD acts, the first, the last, and the Christmas album done.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And there's so much good talent. Like you mentioned Waylon, there's tons of other ones that get dropped. And here in Texas, you can probably do that the way you want. And I
Yeah,
think
there's
that's
a
what
lot of freedom here. I mean, I never even once considered Nashville at all, as a place to move, because I would never survive there, because I'm just too old school. Number one, number two, my version of country just doesn't match. So I mean, I couldn't, and I don't think I'm pretty enough either.
different one.
You got to be pretty to be there now.
And then every now and then somebody pops up and still has success over there with that style of
Yeah.
music, like Midland.
Yeah, well, very true.
It's
Yeah,
a
well, they
Pretty
started
good
here,
example.
so I mean,
They started here too.
they
you
just
know.
kind of got
Yeah.
adopted up there.
Right.
So.
But it's amazing that they even get it up there
There's
these days.
there's an
right?
opportunity for it. Yeah, there's people like Eric Church who, for the most part, got to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
So there's exceptions that they make, but for the most part,
It's not happening anymore.
gotta
That's
be-
why people come back. Randy Rogers came back, Wade Bowen, and tons
gotta-
of
you gotta just-
Texas guys. Yeah.
do what makes you happy. I mean, don't ever fold.
Absolutely.
You hold your own cards. Don't let somebody hold the cards for you.
Yeah. Don't ever fold.
So
that would
what-
be another song title, right?
There you go. What brought you? What can I ask a couple?
Yeah, sure. Of course.
What brought you to America? I mean,
Well, we knew a lot of the Texas music guys from Switzerland. We were in the music business over there, doing interviews, doing a lot of shows and stuff. And we knew the first guy we probably knew from Texas was Gary Peenum back in the late 70s.
okay.
An old friend of ours, and his wife Swiss. So then we had people like Dale Watson, who played over there 10,000
Oh, yeah.
times. I brought 2 tons of steel over there the first
Oh,
time
cool.
about 15 years ago when we saw them in Dallas. And we had contacts, so we got them into festivals and things. So when it came to like semi-retirement, the first idea was, we know a lot of guys here, so why not move down here?
Right.
And
That's
now we
cool.
know we actually get to see them pretty much every day. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's the good thing.
Is America totally different than Switzerland? I mean, just
Well,
And-
depends on how you look at it. On one hand, they used to have advantage technology-wise and stuff here over Europe, and they lost that completely because these days I consider, look at internet services, I consider this a third world country.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're not living in town.
right.
And we don't, so I know what I'm talking about
Right,
out
right.
there. I have more speed on my damn dial-up modem than we have out there. On the other hand, the people here, I don't consider Texas to be America because it's not really like typical.
Right.
It's a different thing, you know. In Texas, people are kind of open. It's more like if you're out in the country in Arizona and Wyoming, it's the same thing there.
Right.
But I could never live in a big city, for example.
Right.
People are too hectic, too nervous, too whatever.
I get
So
you there.
it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I
Uh,
had a hard time adjusting.
People are
to-
definitely more open here, but they're also more kind of superficial in some areas. So if you have a friend and you're being called a friend pretty quick, then it depends. Once you have some bad days, then you see who the real friends are.
Right.
And I bet they're less than what you thought you had before.
Right.
So what's also a big advantage here is the cost of living is massively lower. I mean,
Yeah.
Switzerland is going crazy, price-wise.
Right.
So whenever you play over there, make sure you get a big wallet or a big deal that they pay for you.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's some
Absolutely.
good things to know.
Yeah, whenever we have still some contacts over there, but the thing is, the country part in Switzerland was big, like in the '80s, and then it kind of disappeared. Now it's coming back, and what's really big up there is line dancing and square dancing and all that stuff, and that gets the musician the gigs. So festivals come and go. Some are there for 25 years. Some are just disappearing after a few years, but there's still bunch of options, opportunities to play over there for sure.
Cool.
Yeah. Right. Can we switch the roles again, please?
Yeah. Sorry.
No problem. Now let's play a song first, because otherwise we wait. You still got about 40, like.
Well, I'm gonna do a cover song that's also on my EP, and in future I'm gonna do a couple more covers on EPs and albums. What I like to do is just pick them all apart and make it my version. Whether that's better or worse, I just feel like if you're gonna do a cover song, you either gotta do it just like they did it or make it your
Bring
own.
something else in. Yeah.
And so, I love the song "I'm on Fire" by Bruce Springsteen, and I just didn't really like the way he did it. I do. I'm full of.
He doesn't care. He made the money already.
Right? Yeah. And I got to pay him for the royalties too. So, I loved his version of the song. It's just I think I had a totally different spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard quite a few other versions, and I think what I did is I just kind of meshed everything I've heard in the past and then threw my own twist on it.
Okay.
So I guess this is
let's
more
hear.
or less my version, not quite on the EP because I don't have a full band, but close enough. I guess.
Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? I've got a bad desire. Oh, I'm on fire. Tell me now, baby, is he good to you? Can he do to you the things that I do? Oh no, I could take you high. I'm on fire. Sometimes it's like someone took a knife, baby, edgy and dull, and cut a 6-inch valley through the middle of my soul. Oh, at night I wake up with the sheets soaking wet and a freight train running through the middle of my head, and you pull my desire. Oh, I'm on fire. someone took a knife, baby, edgy and dull, and cut a 6-inch valley through the middle of my soul. Oh, at night I wake up with the sheets soaking wet and a freight train running through the middle of my head, and you cool my desire. Oh, I'm on fire. Oh, I'm on fire. Oh, girl, I'm on fire. Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Talking about being on fire, your day job has to do a lot with heat. You know? So you're actually welding things and you're repairing stuff. So have you ever thought of kind of quitting that day job and concentrate full speed on music, or is that somewhere?
Every day. Every day, yeah. Yeah, no, every day. Just financially, I can't really afford to do that, right now. And that's okay. I mean, if I could just, once I get to that next little level, I think I'd be okay, to just quit my day job and go out and tour and do my thing. It's just getting to that next level. I mean, that next level's that far away, but I mean, I got to climb a mountain that's the size of Mount Everest to get there. You know what I mean? It's just, however, I'm very fortunate for the run-ins and the people I've met and all the blessings that I've had so far since moving to Texas. I mean, I feel like I've gone leaps and bounds from where I was back home. And, I really, when I was young and more naive, I thought, well, yeah, I can be a cool, country guy from Wyoming and everybody's going to love me. And, there's just not enough resources for you to get out and do what you need to do. And, or places to play. I mean, I love it back home. Don't get me wrong. It's just not a place for a musician to want to succeed. And there are some that do, and my hat's off to them. They really kicked some major butt to get there.
Well, even Chris Ledoux had to get out of Wyoming in order to get, recognized internationally.
Right.
And here you obviously have tons of venues, even though they're disappearing. Like around Austin, it's pretty sad because the rent and everything is just killing the venues. But there's still a ton of it, and obviously there is also a ton of musicians. So your competition is pretty high. What do you try to do in order to kind of get yourself ahead of the competition? In with your experience, the younger guys, you hear that, and. Not the big guys, just your league. How do you try to set you apart here?
I don't know. Just try to be myself, I guess, and just keep on driving. I mean, I don't really look at it as competition. A lot of people have that word competition stuck in their head as a musician, and they think that you're out there competing against them, and I guess in some ways you are. But I don't feel like it's a competition to me. I can't stand award shows and stuff like that. I just don't feel like you can. How do you take two great artists and figure out who's the best? Like, in each way they're all just as good. It just depends on who their listeners are. Absolutely. And I guess if you're gonna write music for the pop scene, then I guess you can have your award show. But I mean, if you're writing music for yourself and you have your loyal fans who just love you, to me that's worth all the weight in gold. I mean, it's worth more than any trophy. I don't like to I hate to go on and on and on. I don't like competition. That word competition is because I don't ever come across to try to be a threat to somebody like, oh yeah, you're easy to follow, that's not me. I just
absolutely. And then the other thing is that's actually what we like about Texas music guys. They're like a big family. It doesn't matter who meets who, or
right.
Like we had several cases where band equipment got stolen, or they had an accident on the road, and within like 5-6 hours they had replacements from their peers,
right,
and could play the gig in the evening. So that's something I think it's pretty unique down here.
Yeah, very
people
true.
Really stick together. True.
And that's always a good thing to have.
Absolutely. All right, so you came to the right place. Good thing.
Thank you.
Let's have another one.
This one's called She Blew My Mind. I really don't have a backstory. I just had some.
You just did.
Yeah.
You had your mind blown.
That's my backstory.
The mind's gone. It's blown.
Yeah, it's gone. I don't have a backstory no more. I think I just come up with a couple of the lines and built the song off of that, and it was one of them jobs where it took you 10 minutes, so it must have been okay. Just roll through it. Well, I woke up this morning, I had to rub my eyes. I found it hard to believe that I didn't die. I don't quite know just what I was thinking, but I know she blew my mind. She blows my mind every time we get to drinking and feeling right. I don't know if she'll ever come back, but I know she blows my mind. This ain't the first time, but it might be the last. 'Cause I never know when she'll bring up my past. She'll come a knocking right in time, and I already know, yes I know, she's gonna blow my mind. Blows my mind every time we get to drinking and feeling right. And I don't know if she'll ever come back, but I know she blows my mind.
started thinking about her and me, and it finally sank in enough for me to see that I just can't think about all the time, all the times, all the time. She blows my mind. She blows my mind every time we get to thinking and feeling right. I don't know if she'll ever come back, but I know she blows my mind. And I don't know if she'll ever come back, but I know she blows my mind.
Thank you.
Her mind is already blown. She's sleeping all the time. Kind of a lullaby, that. Now, what is the one thing that you would like people to know that they never guessed about you?
I'm not as much as an asshole as I look like I am. I get that all the time. You look like such an a-hole. I'm not, though. I'm just down to earth. I mean,
That's just me, right?
yeah. I don't know if that was the proper answer to that question. The first thing
Well,
that
at
comes
least
to my
was an
head,
honest
so,
answer,
yeah.
so all good. Now, before we get to the next song and my last question, let me ask with these guys, as we usually do, if they have any questions for you. Anybody?
Do you miss Wyoming?
Yeah, I really miss the people there. I mean, and I miss the laid back. There was hardly any people. There's 575,000 people in the whole state of Wyoming. So I mean, moving to Austin for me was a total culture shock. I mean, I've never seen so much, BS in my life. There's just way too many people here. But that's, I'm adjusting, and the heat here just really got to me too. The first couple of years, I think this year I finally figured out that it's never going to change. So the humidity is actually really what gets me down. I mean, I can do the heat, but the 65-80% humidity, that's what kills me.
Why
used to
Austin and not just the hill country or something like a little bit out?
Well, with my job, I kind of have to be somewhere where there's an actual railroad around. So, I mean, can't really live 60 miles of commute for here. Is just back home. It was nothing to live far away from work and drive because there was no traffic. So here, if you live, the further out you live, the higher the chances that, there's an accident and you get tied up and you can't get to work on time. So, that's why I just stuck with here. So,
Right. Any other questions?
What kind of beard oil do you use?
usually just coconut oil.
Tris.
That's it.
You want to grow it more? Or?
Well, I just trimmed it down. When I grow it, I need something to
Right.
Tame it down.
hold it back.
Yeah. Now you got another year. Santa's coming in a year.
Siri.
She thought she was talking to you. She said she heard beard oil. She was like, "What?" So we see coconut oil.
All right, let's play another one before we get to my last question. Then we
Okay.
have the final song, and then
Well,
that's it.
Hopefully this one isn't too bad because I literally just wrote it. Y'all are gonna be the very first people to hear it. I think the only two people that's heard it is just Lucas and my wife. So.
Okay.
I've heard it once. I've heard it once.
Well, if you see me down and out at the honky tonk tonight, don't bother asking me questions while I'm under this neon light. Just let me sit here by myself with this whiskey this glass until this damned old heartache becomes a thing of the past. Heartache and women seem to go hand in hand. I can't have one without the other. No, I've had all I could stand. What the whiskey doesn't drown just keeps on pulling me down. The heartaches and women and that new Nashville sound. Empty glass, I'm thinking this might be the end. 'Cause I ain't been to honky tonks looking for my best friend. She ain't here tonight. I guess she's found a new neon light. I'll be sitting here just down and out here tonight. Heartaches and women seem to go hand in hand. I can't have one without the other. I've had all I can stand. But the whiskey doesn't drown, just keeps on dragging me down. Heartaches and women and that new Nashville sound.
Thank you. Hopefully your ears ain't bleeding too bad after that one.
Good one on the next album. Pretty good. Yeah.
I will hope so.
Last question, basically. What would you ask yourself in an interview that I did not?
Man, that's a tough one. What would you ask yourself in an interview?
Why are you so good looking? I don't know, something like that. Or, yeah. Why are you really, really good looking? Maybe something like that.
Man, I don't know. Has there ever been anybody that couldn't answer that question?
Yeah, sometimes not. It depends, you know.
Trout fishing in America had
Sometimes people don't think about themselves.
with like what they would be doing if they weren't playing music.
Oh yeah.
Or if I guess if you could
No,
really
he does.
if you do.
He's got a job when he's not playing music.
What
so.
would you do if you could pick a job besides music?
If I had to pick a job besides music?
Not the one you have, obviously.
Not the one I have.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just a simple-minded guy, I guess. Matt, you know, probably like working a forge or something like that. You know, just doing like a metal work, which is still it's similar to what I do, but nothing like what I do now. You know, I just to like maybe turn like artistic into you know like
right.
That'd be fun. I really like to just take my time and work on something for hours and hours and just you know see what I can come up with. Just turn something in from an iron ingot to you know something beautiful. That would be cool.
Right. All right. Good enough. So let's get to the final song. And
the final song. Okay.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. This one is going to be my next single. It's called "A Good Reason to Blame." They call me an outlaw, like they don't know my name. I wish they knew
reason why I have gone insane, living life on the edge. It ain't really my thing, but when push comes to shove, girl, I'm the first one they blame. And they'll find a good reason to blame it all on me. You know they call me a heathen. I just wish they could see that deep down inside me, it ain't nothing but good. If they let that light shine, it'll glow like it should. Pointing fingers is easy when you know that you're right, but I can't walk that straight line when you turn out them lights. And I know someone's watching when I least expect, and I pray that they see me when I give it my best. And they'll find a good reason to blame it all on me. They won't call me a heathen, and they just might see that deep down inside me, it ain't nothing good. If they let that light shine, it'll glow like it should. If they let that light shine, it'll glow like it should.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Grace Hoff, ladies and gentlemen. Thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.